I think an interesting group. I think that if you'd have obviously said in terms of the quality of the teams that England have got to play against, you'd say it'd be quite comfortable. But what each team brings is a level of emotion to it. Obviously, the USA, the way in which they will obviously look at England, and it will provide great difficulty. The Ukraine, Wales, Scotland conundrum. Each of those, whether it be a home nation or obviously Ukraine at this moment in time, brings a level of real passion and emotion and feeling for different reasons. And then obviously Iran, obviously relations at government level between Iran, England, USA over the last sort of 20-30 years has not always been great, so there'll be a lot of interest around that game. But I think from a football perspective, Gareth Southgate will feel that he can get out of that group understanding the things that I've just mentioned will bring that added little bit of difficulty.
Looking at it, it's obviously people are talking about it could be England versus Wales or Scotland if they get through and beat Ukraine. What kind of game would that be? Would that be a sort of typical British game that we saw, for instance, the Euros last summer, England-Scotland?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in recent tournaments, Wales as well. Scotland was a very difficult game in the last Euros, and Wales, we just nipped past them a few years ago, but then Wales ended up going a lot further. So those games are really challenging for England, always have been. We know how much it means to the Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish to play against England, and that's not being sort of arrogant. We just know it's a huge fixture. It's for England as well, but doesn't seem to carry that same level of sort of, I suppose, dislike at times that comes with the Welsh and sort of Scottish fever towards England. So look, I'm looking forward to the group. They've all got a meaning to them, but they are difficult games from an emotional perspective more than a football perspective, and that does carry something of a problem for England.
Do you think England would have wanted to avoid playing another British side, and
yes.
would Scotland and Wales want to avoid England?
Yeah, not sure that, but certainly England would want to try and avoid playing a home nation. It just brings that complication you don't need. It's always been the same. We had it in Euro 96 where Scotland should have beaten us, and then obviously Gaza scores this incredible goal. But they've always been difficult opponents. The emotion of it, the passion that the sort of Scottish fans bring, the Welsh fans. Obviously we have great fans with England as well, but I think that those two travel really particularly well, and like I said, brilliant games for us to watch. That's the main thing. We've got great games to watch, and that it could be Ukraine as well. We shouldn't dismiss the fact that obviously they're still in the hunt.
As far as USA are concerned, I don't think England have ever beaten the USA in a World Cup final. They played them twice. Infamously, they lost, I think, in 1950. You weren't involved in the one in, what was it, 2010?
2010, so yeah.
I think Jamie Carragher played in that game.
Yeah, that's why we didn't do it very well. I was joking. Look, every team now's organised. Every team's got sort of a great coaching level. It's the same in the Premier League. The Premier League level's risen so high, even from sort of, if you like, 20th up to sort of first. And it's the same in the World Cup. The nations are getting sort of tighter and tighter together. And the nations that have qualified for the World Cup, you've got to remember, they've prepared for these matches for months and months and months, 3 weeks solidly before in camp. And then it's the biggest games of their lives, and you're playing against England, who are always a bit of a catch. So for the USA, that's going to be a really tough game, and each game will be tough, but that will be the toughest in the group.